Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Polaris. It's nice to meet you if you are new here, and hey, it's great to see you again if you are back. Just a quick little disclaimer, I've been away for a while because life has been a little chaotic since November, I think. Things are a little slow here, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm very unmotivated with my art. I was going to work to have it go somewhere, but right now I'm thinking this is not for me and I have to prioritize other things. I said before, I am a self-taught artist and I wanted to go professional, but I think it's not for me. I don't think I'm that good, to be honest, and sometimes we have to know when it's time to slow down and keep some things as just a hobby. This is not a pity party though, it's just explaining a little bit why I've been away for a while and that I'm gonna try to take things a little slower because I can't prioritize this as much as I did for the last couple of years. Okay, disclaimer aside, this video is sort of a character sheet project I was working on last year before I had to stop because, life happened. There is a video from a channel I like very much, Struthless. I will leave a link to it so you guys can check it out, where he made a sort of a challenge called Alphabet Superset. Basically, you choose a theme and create something, each week with a theme from a letter of the alphabet. The theme of the letter is chosen by you, and it all ties together to the main overarching theme of the scope you chose before. To give a less convoluted example, back then I wanted to work on my art and my character designing skills. So my scope for the overarching theme is this book that I'm writing called Nick's Protocol. And please bear with me, it's a provisory name. But it's a cyberpunk style story set in the city of Olympia where organic people live with artificial people. It has a bit of Cyberpunk 2077, The Matrix, Elysium, iRobot, Blade Runner, and lots of other influences in it. That being the main theme, I chose a character, a place, or a main plot point to illustrate for each letter of the alphabet. So on A we have Alastor, B we have the Bergestein incident illustration, C we have Katarina, D we have Lady Demonique, E we have Elisabetta, and then I couldn't keep on going and I had to stop, so I never finished. It bothered me though, because the main characters of the story are Alastor and Nyx, and I never got to make a character sheet for Nyx. And there are many other characters I wanted to work on, like Abby Mayhem, Hurricane, Marissa, Robin, Zeus. So I kind of decided to rescue this project from the depths of the abyss and work on it again. But this time to at least finish the character sheets with the main characters and their appearances, cause I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty fond of them. This is my favorite original story I've written so far, and even if it doesn't get out there in the wild eventually, I kinda want to finish writing and illustrating this year, even if it's just for me. So I decided to work on Nyx, because I don't have her and Alastor figured out, and if I don't have that, I don't have a story, basically. In this world, every artificial person has naturally colorful hair and eyes, and that's how you differentiate them from an organic person. The organics can only have the natural colors we are used to, so like red hair, blondes, brunettes, black hair, blue, brown, black, green, or gray eyes. So everyone you see from my illustrations who have a natural hair and eyes are artificials. Nyx has natural pool blue hair and purple eyes, and the purple is kind of a theme with her. It goes with Alastor's purple hair, while his natural eyes are golden yellow. She has augmentations and cyber prostheses just like him, because of surviving an incident back in the place where they used to work years prior to the story. In that incident, the left side of her body got severely burned and she lost her left hand, hence the cyber prosthesis and the chrome plate she has on the left side of her head. From then on, she became the most feared and wanted killer for hire in the city. I say she's the John Wick of Olympia. And that's how she crosses paths with Alastor. Regarding her design, Nyx has to look tough, but I kinda wanted to make her beautiful as well. It's important for one of the characters who relies mainly on her looks, Marissa, that Nyx walks so confidently with her scars showing and seemingly doesn't feel ashamed or judged by people. It took Nyx a while to grow comfortable with that though, and it was a blow to her self-esteem. Even if she is beautiful, because of her marks and her scars, people usually can't see past that anymore, and she had to learn to deal with that. Same goes for her hair. Before the incident, she used to have medium long hair, very conventional, and after it got burned and couldn't grow on a part of her head anymore. She decided to boost the cyber implant she already had on her head and install the chrome plate, cutting her hair short and having it as if it was shaved on the left side, which makes the burns and scars even more obvious on her face. With her cyber prosthesis on her hand, I recently made an illustration of Raiden on Metal Gear Rising, and I took that as a reference and inspiration, hence the color as well. The rest of her style has to be more practical for her to do her job. She's not much into fancy clothes or stylish things when she's going about her day, and she'll always opt for something that will make her look tough and able to do things quick. So that's what I had in mind when designing her clothes. Oh, and her tattoo, Huntress, is kinda her street name. That's how people mainly know her, and whenever someone whispers the Huntress might be around, it's enough to make people second guess themselves and go home. She's like a death omen, and no one wants to be around that. Kinda, like John Wick with the Baba Yaga thing. She doesn't have any friends, and the thing she wants most is to leave Olympia. She keeps to herself, and when she's hunting, there is nothing that can stop her. That's why she's got the look on her face that she's so done, to be honest. Regarding the actual character sheet design, I made it on Canva. My idea was to have all these characters, plot points and places and make it visually cohesive. So at the end I could make like a website or a blog where you would be able to explore the city of Olympia, the people living there, the lore, the characters, etc. The first iteration of the character sheet, though, was a failure. Mostly because I tried to do it on my own, and it ended up looking like a Windows 98 aesthetic thing. It was horrifying. So I saved the character illustrations with a transparent background and made the whole design on Canva that actually looks like a high technology cyberpunk thing. Then I just add the illustration of the characters, I write their info, and it's done. A lifesaver, really. Trust me when I say it looked horrible before. Now, Nyx looks a bit different than the other character styles if you look closely, because all of the other characters I did half a year ago when I was forcing myself to work on Photoshop. Not that Photoshop isn't good, but I prefer Krita over Photoshop any day. I just think I work better on Krita, and the software pressure recognition works better with my way of drawing and painting. Photoshop feels really clunky, and it's a little bit of a torture for me to work with it. When I started working on Nyx, though, I didn't remember which file size I used to work on the other characters, neither the size of the brush, so I went for my default 15 centimeters wide and 20 centimeters tall on 400 ppi resolution file. Only after I put Nyx and Alastor on the same file, I realized his lines look so much thinner, and it's probably because his file was an A4 size with 300 ppi resolution. His is also on RGB, which makes the colors more neon and pop out a lot more, while hers is on CMYK, which is the standard I use on Krita, because I never know if I want to print something or something like that. That's why they look kinda different in styles, and her lines look bulkier than his. It happens to the best of us, I guess. I do want to redesign and actually give Alastor some decent tattoos, so I probably will be reworking on him soon. Katarina and Elisabetta are perfectly fine for me though, so I won't be reworking them. Now, the softwares I was using to draw and record my screen both crashed at the end of this. It's absurdly hot where I live currently, so my laptop was complaining about it a little bit as well. I wanted to finish it in one go, so I had to stop recording before having the final illustration, but I just added a few things that aren't really too much work. These things you can't see in the video, but it's basically just the dramatic light. I added 4 new layers basically. So one layer on multiply, and then I lowered the opacity to around 30% and colored it with a magenta color, sort of like color wash over the painting to bring all the colors together. Then I added another layer on multiply on around 50% with a hard blue shadow. I only softened some places with a blur brush, leaving the focus of the light on her face and mainly her eyes. Then I added some glow on certain parts on an add layer, but it's very mild. After that I added the neon green and the neon pink rim light with a normal layer and the colors at the most saturated versions. And that's how the final illustration has that look that you see at the end of the video. I saved the file with a transparent background, opened my model character sheet on Canva, wrote Nyx's details and added her illustration. Voila! Character sheet is done. Honestly, I think what took me most of the time on this was to reread my story to find a cool quote to add on the excerpt part of the sheet and then look which damn chapter was that. Nyx doesn't talk much for quite a while in the story, and most of her cool moments are descriptive with very little lines, so it was a little bit of a pain to find one that fitted the overall character sheet. And also, I think my original file has around 120 pages, so it's a bit of a long read. Well, I think that's it for this one. There's not much I need to say about it. I'm not very good at aesthetic character sheets, and I always wondered how people did those, so I decided to use this little project to work on those skills. I kind of want to work more on some of their details, like Alastor's tattoos and cyberprosthesis on his entire leg, for instance, that doesn't show on his character sheet. But I guess I'll leave that to when I want to work on reference sheets instead of character sheets. Two different worlds here. But I will make sure to bring it to you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and found some value on me talking about my characters and this crazy little world that I am creating. Thank you for listening and showing interest in it. That's why I like to create things and share around. So, as I always say, thank you so much for watching, for being here, and for liking, subscribing, and sharing if you felt inclined to do so. I hope you have a great week, and I hope to see you again in the next one.